Give us a little bit of background on how this all came together. You getting everybody here again to start early.
Yeah, we did this. We did this last year in September. Came in after Labor Day, and we had just about everybody. And we had just about everybody again this year. And I think that getting down not only the team camaraderie that we developed last year, but also starting to work on some of our defensive concepts. Some of the things we want to do offensively in small groups is going to give us a real leg up once training camp starts in October.
After the success you guys had last year, was it an easier sell this time around?
No, I mean, that's kind of been our whole thought process, is keep the same attitude we had last year and the same work ethic, if not get better. And so that meant coming in again this year. And to be honest, guys are still going to travel on the weekends and get out here and see family and stuff. But during the week, it's good to get that focus in now, and we're ready to go.
How are you physically?
Physically, I'm 100%. I've been scrimmaging now for about a month and a half, and no ill effects whatsoever. Feel a lot better. I've dropped about 5% body fat, about 8 pounds, so I'm in the best shape I've been in. So I actually feel a lot better moving around than I did even last year at this time.
Has it been I guess the surgery was at the end of May?
Right.
What's the process been like from then till now?
Well, it hasn't been too out of the ordinary, because I normally take about the first 4 weeks off after the season anyways to let my body calm down. So that was kind of the rest period that was necessary, and then from there I gradually got back into things, just getting shots up, slow movement stuff, and really by about July 1st, by the time I met the team out of summer league, I was starting to get into full speed stuff, and then added in scrimmaging the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Can you talk the process about your healing process? Was there limitations, and how did you kind of?
No, I honestly just the limitations. A little bit of stiffness at first when I got back into it, like any other surgery would have. But I've had very little, if no pain, coming back from it. But surgery was absolutely necessary, and something when they went in was actually a little more serious than they thought. But everything's perfect now, and no worse for the wear. Excited about getting back to that point and being even stronger this year.
Kent went to Rutgers. How was that?
That was a fun experience. I was up in New York and got asked by a team to come play, and played twice up there this summer. And it was, it's a great experience just knowing that it's the same game we play in the NBA, but it's a completely different atmosphere. It's a completely different attitude, and went up there and definitely had some fun, and it was something that I added to the whole experience of this summer.
Was that one of the first times you tested out again?
Yeah. Played in that Pro City League. Nate Robinson called me, and I couldn't turn the old buddy Nate down. So I played in that. That was the first scrimmage I had actually played in whatsoever. So I took it kind of easy in that game and tested everything out. Went to get a rebound. Instead of just getting the rebound, I backpedaled 3 steps and then came forward to get the rebound just to make sure everything was good. But after that game, by the time I played in Rutgers, felt real confident and haven't thought about it since.
Besides body composition changing, have you been adding anything to your game this summer?
Well, just the 2 things that talked about with our front office and our staff and everything on our exit meetings were to get my body in even better shape, and also to work. I said I want to get that 17 to 18 foot jumper, so where it's automatic, and everybody's been talking about the whole 3-point thing. Been working on that, but really, if I can add a corner 3 and top of the key 3, that might be something that help us. But as you know, we got a couple guys on the team that might be pretty decent at shooting those. So that's just going to be a matter of what we run in our offense, and that'll be up to coach. But my jump shot feels a lot better. It's the first time really in about 5-6 years that I've actually looked at the mechanics of some of the things I was doing and fixed just little things here and there. And so that feels a lot better, and it's showing in these scrimmages thus far. But the biggest thing is I think that being in better shape, having that extra endurance is going to help on the defensive end, being able to make extra effort plays. It's going to help me be more explosive, more athletic, and I think that's going to help me overall game.
What specifically mechanically did you see?
You know what? I just little things, bringing the ball through the middle and using a little bit too much of my offhand. I've moved it a little more over the side. Experts like Marcus could probably notice it.
Right.
Other more laymen to the game, they might not notice such a thing. But just very minor adjustments, but just things to make my release more consistent. And for any big guy shooting the ball, the biggest thing is staying on balance. And I've tried to widen my base a little bit just so that throughout the course of the game, if I'm let's say running out of a pick and roll and catch it, that make sure I'm on balance every shot. I think the shots I missed last year, I saw that I was off balance a lot, so that was one of the improvements I really tried to focus on.
You have been like a major key to developing chemistry, especially when nobody expected anything from this team. how does that role for you change now that people are expecting you to win 100 games?
Yeah. Role doesn't change at all. Talked to Draymond a little bit yesterday, and of course Steph and I are always on the same page, and Andre and everybody. To me, I think we found last year what works for us. Every team's different on their approach and how they want to get to the result of winning basketball games. And I think with us, it was a commitment to one another. Everybody being on the same page and communicating with one another, supporting one another. Our coaching staff and player relationship was great last year, and so we're just going to keep doing the same things we were doing. And part of it's going to be bringing the new guys that are here, which are a couple. And getting them involved in the same thing, but we have all good character guys, and our front office has done a great job once again finding guys that fit into not only what we're doing on the court, but fit into what kind of guys we are off the court. So that's not going to be too challenging, but it kind of tends to develop in this first month here. I think this helps a lot. And you find out what guys might need to be helped along a little bit, what guys are where they need to be, and can help other guys out. So it all kind of falls into place. But I'm looking forward to hopefully being a captain again this year, and playing the same role I did of bringing guys together and not having it just be about me, but about everybody.
Did you know Andre much before you got here?
I knew I've known him for years, and of course when I was in New York and he was in Philly, played against each other 50 times a year, like it seems we play against Sacramento every other game. But I got to know him real well, and he's a high character guy and a guy that's very versatile and that can help us offensively and most importantly defensively at a variety of positions. And I think that he's going to be a huge asset for us to have this year.
What is it like hearing people predicting you to finish third in the West, win the West?
To be honest, whether it's the media forecasting what kind of season I'm going to have, what kind of season the team's going to have, at the end of the day, it's nice predictions. But as you found out last year, at some point all that ends and the ball's got to be thrown up and everybody's got to play. So my focus this summer is individually getting better, and now when we're back with the team, collectively we have to get better at the things we need to get better at, and it really doesn't matter. We could finish last in the West this year. We could finish first. I think we have the ability to be a championship caliber type team, to where we're going to be there when it's all said and done, and we'll see who makes the plays to win games. So, but that's a long way off. At this point, we're trying to get better each day and continue to work on the things we know are going to get us there.
Did you get a chance to savor the success from last year, or was that kind of tainted because of how it ended for you?
Well, I was happy I could come back and play a little bit there, especially the San Antonio series. But because of all the getting back into shape, and not get back into shape, but rehabbing from the injury, that the playoffs for me were a little bit of a blur. I mean, it was very, very exciting to be a part of that, and I think I learned a lot from a leadership standpoint, because I think a lot of the guys looked to me when I got hurt and were like, well, is he going to hang his head, or is he going to continue to be a leader for us? And I thought I did a good job in that aspect. And going into this year, I definitely am ready to get back to that point again and have a different outcome. It was out of my control this year, and I'm hoping that I'm going to have it in my control this year, so I can make a stand and have an even better finish this season.
You find any satisfaction in the fact that 2 or 3 years ago when you came here, where things were, and in many ways you accomplished what you set out to do?
Yeah, we still have a long way to go, but and every year is a different year. But if you looked at where we came from 3 years ago, and I remember some of the questions from other reporters, especially that aren't here today, were, why would you come here? There hasn't been a playoff team. There's been one playoff team in the last 150 years, and there's a great fan base, but why would you choose here versus some of the other options? And now looking at where we are right now and having these conversations, it's very exciting. But once again, it comes with a level of responsibility, because now we're going to have a target on our back rather than being a team that everyone underestimates. So it comes with an extra level of responsibility. I think it's a level of responsibility this team is very capable of keeping up with, and we're going to go out there and do the same things we did. We're going to have fun. We're going to work together, and we're going to go out and try to play hard on the other team and execute.
You talked to Bob Myers about trading you for Marcus Aldridge, which I read several times.
Kevin Love.
Yeah,
Nate Robinson.
Yeah, Nate Robinson. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Being in New York for 5 years on a bad team every year, I think all 15 guys on that roster were rumored to be traded all summer. And is it, for me to say that it's fun to look in the media and see those things, I'd be lying to you. But at the same time, once again, if it happens or it doesn't happen, I'm not going to have any control over it. And now that I know I'm going to be here, which I didn't have too much doubt about, but now that I know that I'm here, it's a time to once again get back after it and get ready to go this season.
Did they reach out to you and say? I mean, they were pretty adamant that it wasn't true.
Yeah, no, they absolutely. Actually, I was in Europe. I was at Wimbledon in London, and kind of the day all that stuff came out, and I had messages from Mr. Lacob and from Mr. Myers before I even read that. So I woke up, I got messages from them in Europe. I said, I don't know if I want to go to Hoops Hype right now. So my Twitter wasn't working. I said, oh, I didn't want to go see it. They must be writing me for some reason. But like I said, that's always going to be a part of basketball. And if they weren't trying to improve their team, then something's wrong. And that's why we've gotten to this point is we made improvements. And they got to continue to do that. And you know what? If giving up me and somebody else meant getting a guy like Dwight Howard, then that maybe was a good thing for the team, maybe wasn't. But they're at least exploring and trying to get better with their roster, and that's what's important. And I'm happy to be here and looking forward to this season.
You said the doctors found a little bit more damage actually than they expected. Did they think that maybe coming back during the playoffs and playing on that injury today then?
No, I don't think so. And everything was still able to be successful. But, you know, when they went in, it was a situation where it was, yes, you absolutely needed surgery. This wasn't a gray area. You know, the muscle was completely torn off the bone and frayed. So it was I didn't go half-ass on the injury this year. I definitely went full-blown on the injury. So everything, you know, I've found that now that it's healed up, actually my core and everything's been a lot stronger. Everything's really secure. I don't know if there was any weakness there before, and that was the reason it happened. But something I've concentrated on all summer is getting my core right and getting in best shape I can. And I think that's going to help me a lot.
What do you see as the ceiling for this team?
You know, that's a great question. We'll have to see as we go along. I mean, I think that we've proven last year that we can beat anybody. And, you know, a team like San Antonio more or less had the championship won right there. They're right there with Miami. And I think that if we have a healthy roster, not only myself, but also, you know, we kind of forget a little bit that Bogut only played 12 or 15 minutes in that final game. And Steph, we really forget because even though he was on one ankle, he still managed to have about 35 every game. But I think if we're a healthy roster, we have a chance to win that series, and then who knows what happens from there. So coming back, I think we're a stronger roster this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out.
So that Houston matchup last year was already interesting. What do you expect it to be this year now?
I think it's gonna be great, and that's why you play the game. I mean, that level of competition, those fun matchups. You know, it's going to be, I think, an interesting series between the two of us this year, as will it be with the Clippers as well. Those are two teams that, you know, we had interesting matchups with last year, and I think will continue this year. And you know, the West is always a challenge, and this year is going to be no exception, and we look forward to it.
Great. Is that it?
Has Steph given you any sort of input on your perimeter shooting?
No, like it's like, you know, that's like when you're a prodigy at something, it's tough to like pass down knowledge. I mean, it's like, who was the chess player? Who was the one chess player? How does he teach me how to play chess? I mean, so Steph has his own unique way and brand of shooting, so it's tough. It's tough for him to pass on any knowledge.